Hello, it's April and welcome to Snapdragon Hollow. Today I thought I would share with you a fairy book vlog. Monday the 24th is International Fairy Day, so I thought it would be fun to share with you my collection of books that are all about fairies. I've got quite a few. I have always loved flower fairies and beautiful little fairy stories and things like that. So I've gathered quite a nice collection of my different fairy books that I thought I would share with you today. I also found this beautiful bouquet of flowers here in my grocery store. They have these beautiful bell-shaped flowers here. I just thought they were perfect and they reminded me of a very fairy inspired flower here. It looks like they would use it as a little teacup or something like that. They're just so beautiful. So the perfect flower there for International Fairy Day. And I've got my little fairy figures here that I picked up at Hobby Lobby a while ago. They sit in my front foyer near the bookcase where all of my fairy books live. So I have a lot of fairy books to share with you today, along with a nice cup of tea that I'll be enjoying while I talk about these books. And then I've got my little tea time snack here that I thought I would share with you. These are digestive biscuits, chocolate digestive biscuits. But these were dark chocolate ones. Just like in my last book vlog where I shared with you my dark chocolate Tunnocks tea cakes, these are dark chocolate digestive biscuits. I picked these up at World Market as well, and I'm excited to try the dark chocolate. I've had milk chocolate before, but not dark chocolate, so I will be trying those a little bit later and letting you know what I think. And also, because it's a fairy themed book vlog, I thought that I would have a bit of a whimsical little treat as well. These are marshmallow swirls that I found at the Dollar Tree. So they're really pretty little swirls of marshmallow here. And I just thought they looked fun and whimsical. Perfect for a fairy themed book vlog. So I will open those up later also and let you know what I think of those. So a lot of my fairy books here are inspired by Cicely Mary Barker, who wrote all of the Flower Fairy stories, very famous Flower Fairy series. And I believe I have all of those books here in a couple editions. So we'll go ahead and start with, I think we'll go ahead and start with this edition here that I bought for both me and my daughter. We each have a set back when she was a young girl. So I'll take a sip of tea here. And then we'll get started with our Flower Fairies book here. It's a beautiful little set here. I don't know if they still make this set or not. I will see if I can find any of these on Amazon. I will put my affiliate links in the description box below. The first one is Flower Fairies of the Winter. Just like with the Brambley Hedge series that I love so much, there are seasonal books here. And you can see the absolutely stunning little pictures in here. This is a snowdrop fairy, perfect for winter here. So a book of Flower Fairies of the Winter. And we've got Flower Fairies of the Spring in this beautiful yellow book here. I love that these have the metallic detail on the cover as well. Here's a Daffodil Fairy, perfect for spring. So these just are full of beautiful, you know, seasonal themed fairies, nature flower fairies. It's wonderful if you are also a fan of gardening and nature and flowers and things like that. It's a neat way to kind of learn about different flowers. These are Flower Fairies of Summer. And here we have some heather, a little heather fairy. That's beautiful. I love the illustrations from Cicely Mary Barker. I've always loved them. These are Flower Fairies of the Autumn. Just beautiful. Here we have a dogwood fairy. So, you know, throughout the books, there are just many, many different ones. Here's a blackberry one, blackberry fairy there. So pretty. And then we have Flower Fairies of the Wayside. I believe this has 8 books in it, this series. Here is a white bindweed fairy. So you can see every book has all of these beautiful and unique fairies. Here are Flower Fairies of the Garden. This would be perfect to look at right now since it's the height of gardening season. Here we have the Canterbury Bell Fairy. So pretty. And then we have Flower Fairies of the Trees. Here we have a cherry tree fairy. It's nearly cherry season around here. I'm really excited about that. And then we have a flower fairy alphabet. This will be a fun one to read with my grandchildren as they get a little bit older. Here is A for apple blossom. And then it goes through the alphabet, of course. Let me go ahead and find out what Z is. I haven't read these in quite some time. Z is for zinnia here, so that's perfect. I love zinnias. So very fun, the Flower Fairies. Let me go ahead and show you some more of the Flower Fairies books that I have here in front of me. I also have this fun sticker book. I bought this years and years ago. I loved to look at all of the Flower Fairies here. Here I've tucked it, and it shows you how old this book is. It fell out here, a lenticular picture from the front of a Flower Fairy calendar from 2009 of a little fairy family there. And some flower fairies, and this you can stick the stickers on the different pages in here and make a little fairy scene. I think that they still sell books like this, perhaps not that exact one, but I know I purchased this relatively recently. This one is a garden party sticker book with flower fairies. So just some fun activities here. You can see the beautiful illustrations. And then the beautiful flower fairy stickers. So just some fun activities there. And then also, as far as flower fairies go, I have a very beautiful copy of all of the books here. This is the complete Flower Fairies series by Cicely Mary Barker from Folio. And they're just beautiful in this beautiful case here. They're all cloth bound. Here is the copy of a Flower Fairy alphabet. And they're the same ones as I showed you before, but in this beautiful, smaller, cloth bound folio edition. And they're just beautiful. Here we have the Strawberry Fairy in the Flower Fairy alphabet here. So this is one of my prized possessions here. I love my folio books, and this set of the Flower Fairy series from them is just so beautifully made. Absolutely love it. I have a couple other fairy themed folio books. This one is called How to See Fairies, and you can see the beautiful slipcase here. And here is the book itself. It's so beautiful. Also cloth bound. This is written by Charles Van Sandwyck, and this is a Folio Society book from 2018, and the illustrations again are just absolutely stunning. This is such a beautiful book. There are also some different fold outs and mini books in here. You can see this big fold out here, like so. So some different little pictures throughout this book. Lots and lots of illustrations and lots of fun little information. This one here, for example, says Pocket Guide to Little People, How to See Fairies, the book that is the title here. The Fairy Market, just little stories and poems, and again, tons of illustrations. This is also one of my favorite books. Again, How to See Fairies, and that is again from Folio. I have another book by the same author called Letters from Fairyland. This is also a beautiful folio edition. You can see the folio case here. It's very pretty, little illustration there. Letters from Fairyland. And this one actually has little letters in it, like so, little pockets with letters, which are just wonderful. You can see it opens up and it tells you a little story. It's a little letter, fits in the pocket. And there's just a bunch of different pages with these little beautiful little letters that you get to read and open up. I love interactive books like that. It is so inspiring to me, and the illustrations again are just beautiful. So this is Letters from Fairyland by Charles Van Sandwyck again. So that's also a very fun little treasure in my book collection, and perfect for International Fairy Day. I definitely plan to spend some time with these books on International Fairy Day. Now let's see, I have some other fun interactive books here. These came out also when my daughter was a little bit younger. We each also got a set of these. This one is called How to Find Flower Fairies. This is, again, one of those interactive books. It's got the lenticular picture on the cover. It's a beautiful book. It's got pop-ups here, and there are different spots in here that you can open up and read about fairies. You can see how beautiful that is. I love pop-up books. So How to Find Flower Fairies. And that came out, I think, after this one. I think this was the first one, Fairyopolis, a Flower Fairies journal. So it's almost like somebody who's made their own fairy-themed journal, like a junk journal. So as somebody who loves to journal, this is a really inspiring book. You can see it looks like someone's journal here. You can see the writing, looks like handwriting there, and little lift-a-flaps here that you can lift up and read little things about. So another interactive book. Lots of little envelopes and fold-outs and little maps. Here's a map of Sussex, it says. And again, all about fairies, as though someone has kept their own journal about flower fairies that they are learning about. And I just think that that's really neat. Super inspiring, again, for journaling and making journals and stuff like that. So I just absolutely love Fairyopolis. This is something that me and my daughter used to love pouring through, and I'm so glad I still have a copy of that. And here we have the follow-up, Return to Fairyopolis, again with the beautiful lenticular pictures on the cover and lots of interactive pages here. This one is nice, like solid board here. Then we've got little lift-a-flaps in here as well. And then another beautiful pop-up picture here. So this one is Return to Fairyopolis. So these books are just so fun. And then the last one I have like that is Flower Fairies, Magical Doors, Discover the Doors to Fairyopolis. So another one in the series here, Flower Fairies, Magical Doors. And again, set up in that interactive fashion with little books that lift open, pages that, little flaps and pages that lift open here. Little, looks like a little, you can see the tree here opening up and a little fairy sliding down. Such fun books. These are fun for children and adults who love whimsical things like this or need some inspiration for paper crafting. Here we have a beautiful pop-up in the back here. Again, you can see that here. So very, very beautiful. Fun, fun book. And then let's see, this is another old set of books. I don't know who writes this. I don't know if it's available. Oh, let's see, it says Margaret Terrence, Fairies and Flowers. So this set of fairy books looks to be very similar to Cicely Mary Barker, perhaps inspired by. I don't know which one came first. Let's see, I'll read them first. Twilight Fairies, Wild Fruit Fairies, Flower Fairies, Forest Fairies, Weather Fairies, and Seashore Fairies. But these are different than Cicely Mary Barker's. Again, these are by Margaret Tarrant. So a really beautiful set here. You can see the image here on the front and back. And here's a little bit about the books here. I don't think these are available. I think these might be out of print, but they're very beautiful. You can see, here's one of the books here. This is Seashore Fairies. And the beginning of the book talks a little bit about the author as well. So she's written little stories, quite a bit of stories here, and then done some illustrations as well. So very beautiful set of fairy books, very similar again to the Flower Fairy series. So this is very pretty. The Fairies and Flowers from Margaret Tarrant. Then we've got this one, Backyard Fairies by Phoebe Wall. I've seen this book for years. I actually picked this up and I still haven't read it. I need to read this. I love the illustrator here. She does some really fun illustrations. You can see the richly colored illustrations here about backyard fairies. So I'm eager to read this one as well. It just looks like so much fun. I've heard a lot of good things about backyard fairies. And then I'm not going to be able to say this name very well. Let's see. Gyo Fujikawa. Come follow me to the secret world of elves and fairies and gnomes and trolls. This is also a classic book here about elves and fairies and gnomes and trolls. And they're beautiful little stories, and I love the illustrations again. Just think they're so pretty and cute. I love imagining little fairy and gnome homes out in the woods and in the garden. There's a little tree trunk home. And there are a bunch of different little poems and stories in this book as well. So let me give you a look at the cover here. Again, a classic book, Come Follow Me to the Secret World of Elves and Fairies and Gnomes and Trolls. Again, I'll link any of these books that I can find for you. Then we have a fun little series here that has to do with fairy houses. Fairy Houses by Tracy Kane. I believe there was even a video series on this, or a DVD or something like that. Fairy Houses. I'm pretty sure I have the DVD as well. Me and my kids used to actually build little fairy houses when we were at the beach or in the woods. So you're supposed to use natural items, only natural items that you find, like say on your nature walks and things. And you can go to like the base of a tree. We used to make them in the hillside dunes at the beach, just using little shells and rocks and braided seagrass, things like that, and create a little teeny tiny fairy house. I haven't made one in years. Of course, when my kids were little, that's when we would do this sort of thing. And this is a little story about those fairy houses. I believe this is a story about an area that this child goes to that have fairy houses, and then she builds her own, which is a really, really fun activity. You can do it seasonally. There's things like here's an activity for spring and, you know, at different places and seasons, how you can build these little natural fairy houses. This is a great activity for kids. And here is a companion book, Fairy Houses Everywhere by Barry and Tracy Kane. And this shows actual fairy houses that people have made. So it gives you some really fun ideas for making fairy houses. And if you've been on this channel, you know I love miniatures and doll houses and things like that. So between my love of books and nature and miniatures, fairy houses are right up my alley. Here's some made with gourds for the fall. Here's some at the beach. I love the beach ones. I think that that's extra fun. So just some really fun ideas about making fairy houses. Definitely a recommended book here. And I have some more books to share with you, but right now I think I'm going to go ahead and open up my dark chocolate digestive biscuits here and give them a try and let you know what I think. So again, here's the package if you'd like to find some of these for yourself. Again, I found these at World Market. This is what they look like. They're like a cookie, a digestive biscuit cookie on one side, and then the dark chocolate on the other. I'm gonna try it just like it is, and then I'm gonna try dunking it in my tea too. I do like to dunk my little cookies in my tea. I think that that's really delicious. And I would definitely encourage everyone to grab some tea and a little cookie from time to time when you're enjoying some time with your books. I think it's just a wonderful thing to do. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a try. And that is really good. I love the dark chocolate flavor. I think that's really yummy. Again, I'm a fan of dark chocolate. They do also make milk chocolate. Now I'm gonna try a little bit dunked in my tea. I like to just dunk it in my tea really quickly so that it doesn't fall to the bottom and ruin my tea. So just a quick little dunk there. And that is definitely my favorite way to eat the little digestive biscuit here with the chocolate. Just quickly dunked in my tea here. And now for one more tea time treat here, the marshmallow swirls. That again, I found these at the Dollar Tree. Just thought they were fun and whimsical. And I thought that I would give them a try here. It says they are birthday cake flavored. And as soon as you open up the package, you definitely get that birthday cake scent here. Here's one of them in pink and blue. And they also have yellow and green. But I think, well, yes, I think that they all smell the same. So I think they're all birthday cake flavored. So I'm going to go ahead and try a bite of this pink and blue one here. I love that the pink here matches my pretty flowers. I think it's a very whimsical little fairy themed dessert here. Little treat. Definitely nice and soft. Really good marshmallow flavor. Definitely birthday cake flavored. I think that these would be a really fun treat to set out at a birthday party or on a little candy platter or something like that. These are pretty tasty. I do love finding little goodies at the Dollar Tree. It's really, really fun to come across some interesting flavored treats. So marshmallow swirls, birthday cake flavored marshmallow swirls, very, very yummy for tea time here. Okay, so now to share with you the rest of my fairy themed books here. This is the Cottingley Fairies book. You can see this here. This is another book that I recently got, so I've not read through this yet. I have looked through it briefly. This is the story of the girls who made photographs of little fairies that got published. So this was in 1918. Elsie Wright and her cousin Frances Griffiths photographed fairies in their garden in the small village of Cottingley, Yorkshire. And without expecting it, they got a lot of attention about this, even from spiritualist Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. And so this is supposed to be the story as told by the two girls. I've seen the film of that as well. It's pretty cute. So lots of really cute illustrations in here, talking about their little photography adventure here and what they saw and set up as their little fairies. And what the people thought about it, stuff like that. I believe the movie Fairy Tale, A True Story is about these girls as well. If you want to check out a fun movie for International Fairy Day, I will be looking through this book as well, The Cottingley Fairies. If I'm saying that right, I might be saying Cottingley wrong. I'm not 100% sure. But yes, those girls who took the pictures, the famous pictures of fairies. And here we have by Matthew Reinhardt and Robert Sabuda, two of the best paper engineers. They do the most amazing pop-up books, of which I have many. This is Fairies and Magical Creatures. And you can see all of the tremendous movable little fairy pop-ups here. There's another one. Just amazing pop-up books here. I would highly recommend, if you're into pop-ups and paper crafting, that you check out Matthew Reinhardt's books and Robert Sabuda's books. And this is a great one about fairies. So that's a super fun pop-up book here. Here's another fun illustrated book about fairies called Fairy Dreams. This is by Carol McLean Carr. You can see a lot of beautiful fairy illustrations here. And here are some fairies in what looks like a library area here. Just a fun story with lots of beautiful illustrations about fairies. Here's one that I believe I got as a gift. This is the Fairy Handbook. And this has just a bunch of neat information in it about fairies, different stories about fairies and lore about fairies, as well as some fun crafty ideas about fairies and fairy themed crafts, how to know if you're a fairy girl, a little bit about Midsummer Night's Dream, which I'm reading for Midsummer Night. There's a section here about home food and entertaining. So neat little crafts and party tips and things like that. This is just one of those fun books to kind of look through. And also these kind of books inspire me with journaling. I just think I love the collection of information like this. And it's just a really pretty book. The Fairy Handbook. That's a fun one for International Fairy Day. So is this one here, A Field Guide to Fairies, another sort of journal-y pop-up book. Here's a pop-up here. Let's see if I can get this to pop up all the way. There we go. It is a little tree there, even with a little swinging fairy in it. And then lots of just fun illustrations and information, little pop-ups throughout the book. And again, lots of just fun little snippets of information. A Field Guide to Fairies. This is another one of those fun sorts of books. And then the last book that I have, this is a newer purchase for me. I keep seeing this and I just think it is so beautiful. Definitely fit in perfectly with my fairy book collection here. This is A Natural History of Fairies by Emily Hawkins and Jessica Rue. Look how beautiful this is. It's cloth bound with metallic detail there. So pretty. It's got a really pretty little fairy here. Natural History of Fairies. It's got gold edge pages. So pretty. Even the end papers, look how pretty that is. Just beautiful. And let's see here. Just lots of neat information in here about fairies, the secret life of fairies, what are fairies, the anatomy of a fairy, things like that. things about fairies and animals, polar fairies, etc. All sorts of things. The classification of fairies, where they fall in the classification system. It looks like they're classifying them with different animals here, which I think is really cute. And then we've got fairy wings, and it shows this beautiful page here about butterflies. I love the idea of studying nature through this fairy lens here. It's so fun to think about little flower fairies and how they are in their little nature habitats. It goes right along with studying nature and observing nature and keeping nature journals. It's just so fun. It even has a little ribbon marker here. I just noticed that. It's very pretty, a little yellow ribbon. Just stunning, stunning illustrations throughout this book. And this book is just a real treat here with its beautiful cloth-bound cover, hard cloth-bound cover, and beautiful gold detailing. I just love this. This one was a real treat, and I'm definitely excited to spend some time with this book as well. So that is my selection of wonderful fairy-themed books for International Fairy Day. I hope that you enjoy taking a look at some of my fairy book suggestions, and I hope that you get a chance to read some of these. I would love to hear in the comments below if you've read any of these books, if you have favorites, or if you have a fairy book recommendation for me. I would love to know. I'm always interested in adding new books to this little collection of my fairy books here. I just think that it's such a fun and whimsical theme of books to read, and it goes right along with my love of gardens and nature. So that is my book vlog for International Fairy Day. I hope you enjoyed hearing about all of these books, as well as hearing about my dark chocolate digestive biscuit tea time treat. That was also really fun, as were the marshmallow swirls that I enjoyed with my cup of tea. Thank you for stopping by Snapdragon Hollow. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.